I bought a house in Italy, but what I didn't realise, for the first 32 days, I wouldn't have any running water. And just when I thought I'd solved the problem and the water was on and I was ready to do all the cleaning and wash my hair and wash my clothes, well, the washing machine broke. I spent weeks organising utilities from Australia before I arrived. Oddly enough, the thing I was worried about was the electricity. I wasn't really worried about the water. I'd been emailing the water company, sending forms backwards and forwards, and I just assumed everything would be sorted by the time I got here. And even if it wasn't, I had a well on the property and a public fountain just down the road, so I figured I'd be fine for a few days. When I arrived, the electricity worked. The water didn't. At first, honestly, I wasn't concerned at all. In fact, collecting water was quite enjoyable. Every morning, I'd walk down to the fountain with my buckets, fill them up, and carry them back to the house. It felt simple. It felt old-fashioned, and in a strange way, it felt like I was getting a little glimpse into how people here might have lived many years ago. At the beginning, I actually enjoyed it. A bit of extra exercise, fresh air, a slower pace of life. But after a few days, the novelty started to wear off. The problem wasn't drinking water. The problem was everything else. Cleaning the house needed water. Washing dishes needed water. Washing clothes needed water. And after spending all day cleaning, gardening, and working around the property, what I really wanted was a proper shower. For the first time in my life, I started thinking about how difficult daily life must have been before running water. Not for a weekend, not as a camping trip, but every single day. Every bucket of water had to be carried by hand. And suddenly, something I'd never thought about before became one of my biggest parts of my day. By this point, I'd been without running water for just over a week. When I first arrived, I genuinely thought I'd cope. I had the fountain, I had the well. And honestly, for the first few days, it felt like a bit of an adventure. But eventually reality catches up with you. You can only wash so many clothes by hand. You can only have so many bucket baths. And after days of cleaning, gardening and working around the house, all I wanted was a proper shower and clean clothes. So I booked a few days away. Partly because I wanted a break, but mostly because I desperately needed access to a washing machine and a bathroom. It felt ridiculous travelling hundreds of kilometres just to do the things I'd never even thought about before. Things that back in Australia I took completely for granted. Now, I know there are people in a lot worse situations than me, and I shouldn't be complaining. There's people all over the world that don't have running water. But I'm used to running water. I'm used to being able to shower, wash my dishes in hot water, wash clothes, and it's just reached its limit now. I need a shower. I need to wash my hair. So I'm booking an Airbnb. I cannot cope anymore. It has been just over a week. I'm hoping after the Airbnb visit, the water board gets onto what they're meant to be doing, or at least replies to my emails. And when I get back from my little trip away, I'll have running water. But for now, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I can't do this no more. It's just too much.
And I thought I'd cope. I thought I'd be able to cope, and it was fun initially. You collect your water, you're getting that extra exercise. It was all good, but I'm tired. My house is still dirty because I can't clean properly, and my hair's filthy. So I need a shower.
I was convinced that by the time I got back, the water situation would be sorted. I'd sent emails, I'd filled out forms, I'd done everything they'd asked me to do. But when I returned to the house, still no water. At that point, I decided emails clearly weren't working. So I got on the train and went into Acqui to find the water company in person. I'm heading into Acqui today to finally try and get this water sorted. So I still have no town water at the property. So today I'm going to try and go into town and speak to them in my best English and see if I can get it on, because we've just been emailing back and forth and they just keep saying, well, what do you want? And I keep saying I need the water connected. The only other thing I can think is, unless I don't have mains water, but there is like this, like on the road, there is like a big pipe which connects to, I'm guessing, main water. But the neighbours seem to have, like, the fountain water comes in and it goes into this big holding tank, and then the pump brings it into the house. So the neighbours seem to be using the fountain water still. So just left the water board, and I will have water connected on Thursday. It's Tuesday now, so I'm very excited about that. For the first time in weeks, I felt optimistic. I went home. I told the neighbours. Everyone seemed excited. Thursday couldn't come soon enough. The only problem was, Thursday arrived and still nothing happened. We went down into the cellar and started turning valves and checking pipes. We tried taps. We checked everything we could think of. But there was still no water. So this is the current situation. We have a big bucket. We have hair washing stuff. Now, as you can see by this, there's still no water in the house. I went in 2 days ago to Acqui and they assured me that today was the day and it was going to get put on, but it's still not on. We've still got no water and I've got so much washing to do. I'm filthy. I've been doing bucket baths, but that's just not enough no more. My hair needs washing too. So I filled up 2 of these with water from the fountain, put it in the bucket. Now, it's about 5 in the afternoon. This has been sitting here for a little while, but unfortunately, I didn't think of the idea until later. So it's only still cold. But we are going to attempt to have a bath. And it's quite a good-sized bucket. Got some warm clothes to put on afterwards. I'm hoping the neighbours don't come over for a visit because I couldn't be bothered dragging it up the hill, or bringing the water up the hill, more to the point. So let's get stuck into it. Now, I am going to have to say goodbye because I'm not doing any OnlyFans. So hope you have a lovely evening or morning or afternoon or wherever you're at. I'm in the laundromat doing my washing because no water at the house yet. Hopefully it happens soon and I don't have to come here again. But look, as far as costs are concerned, €5 to put a wash on, and that includes your washing up powder. So I think that's reasonable. And then 8 minutes of drying is €1.60. So €1.60, sorry. Today I'm heading back into Acqui to speak to the water board again about my water. They said to me 2 days ago when I was in there, they filled in the forms, I signed contracts, that yesterday would be the day that it would be turned on.
But unfortunately, I still have no town running water. It's getting quite desperate now. I really want hot water to clean properly and just ease. If I've got water in the house, it's going to be a lot easier than walking to the fountain every day and carrying buckets. Like initially it was quite fun. I felt very old school, but it's been a few weeks now and I'm over it. I want to move to the current century and wash my hair and use a washing machine, no dishwasher, which is fine. But a washing machine's good. So that's the plan for today. Akwi, water, and it's also market day, so I'm going to pick up some nice little treats for myself and then head back home, and hopefully they're going to do the water today. I can't see it happening because it is Friday, so that means no water for the weekend, possibly Monday. But we'll see how we go. Apparently water's going on today now. I just got back from Akwi and they said today's the day, even though they said the same thing yesterday. And also when the guy, because I couldn't quite understand him, but I can kind of pick up what they're saying. So the guy says to the guy that I think does the work, do you think you can do it today? And he goes, as in no. And then the guy relays to me, he can do it today. So we'll see if it happens. I'd been emailing, I'd filled out forms, I'd travelled to Akwi, and every time I was told the same thing. Tomorrow, 2 days, soon. But eventually, after weeks of carrying buckets and washing clothes by hand, something finally changed. The neighbours spotted the truck first. And suddenly, there was hope that this whole saga might finally be over. Okay, moment of truth. Tap, water should flow. I'm actually a little bit nervous. Like we've done all the levers, the people have been, it's connected. Let's do this. I think I'm going to push that. Ooh, did you see that? Oh, we have water. And really good pressure. That is a bloody miracle. Okay, let's turn it off. We don't want to waste that precious stuff. I am genuinely relieved. I can shower, I can wash clothes, I can wash dishes in hot water. This is going to be fantastic. Power is on, water is on now. And I thought the problem with the washing machine was there's a hole in this seal, which I've fixed with silicone. But when you go to actually close this, it just pops open. So I'm going to try and rig up. Haven't got like a ratchet thing, but I have got dolly, this thing, this big jar, and wire. After 32 days without running water, I was finally going to do my first proper load of washing. Well, at least that was the plan. My washing machine has decided to stop mid-cycle while it's got water in it. I can't get it to work again, so I have to open the door and take the stuff out without having water go all over the ground. So the situation is at the moment, I'm lifting it up so it's a bit more of an angle so I can open the door without flooding the bathroom. So we're having a good day here in Italy. Rotten fruit and broken washing machine. Managed to get the washing out of the machine because it stopped working mid-cycle. Chopped it up, lent it back, and only a bit of water come out. There's still all that water in there that I'm going to have to get out. And we're back to hand washing in the bathtub. But on a good note, I managed to get the hot water on. So initially I turned the switch on and nothing happened. But then I pressed the switch, which I'm not going to touch it because it's obviously a bit dodgy. I just pressed it super, super hard
and it managed to stay on. So that's heating. So that's great. This, on the other hand, is rubbish. Looking back now, it's funny how much of my first month in Italy revolved around water. Before this, I'd never really thought about it. You turn on a tap, you have a shower, you wash your clothes, you clean the house. It's just there. For 32 days, every litre of water I used had to be collected, carried, stored and rationed. And while I definitely don't want to go through that experience again, it did make me appreciate something I'd taken for granted my entire life. The funny thing is, I came to Italy expecting to learn about the house, the land, the language and the culture. I didn't expect one of the biggest lessons to come from something as simple as turning on a tap.